Yeah. What's coming to me? Because I was speaking on Jesus and how you know God gave the people 3 times to redeem Jesus, and nobody stepped in to redeem him. Like everybody was in fear, and you kind of if you look at like how our government set up, it's like really the same thing going on. Like they're instilling fear. Everything you watch on TV is fear. Like your mind and your body, everything is fear, 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 and they use fear as a form of control. Believe it or not. So yeah, so I was looking at my video, and it will come to me how our government is using fear, and the media is using fear to control everybody. So everybody just scared. And anything dealing with fear that instill that spirit of fear is what they're using as a weapon to, I say, to just hold you hostage, to hold you hostage, really. So when you look at back then, it's the same tactics now. On definitely we got technology, but the same principles and the same spirits that it's nothing new under the sun. The same spirits that existed then exist now. The same gods that existed then exist now. And I'm talking about them pagan gods. I'm talking about them pagan gods. Everybody just worshiping and stuff like all of that. Never left. So that spirit of fear. If you look everything on TV, everything on the media, like everything the government put out, they try to instill this fear because once they instill this fear, now they can control you through fear. And I don't really have too much like I said, social media and stuff. Like I don't really be knowing what's going on. God gonna tell me though. He gonna tell me what I need to know. But other little stuff, I'm just lost. I really don't have a clue, y'all. But so that's what's going on too. It's like a form of fear that's like really enslaving us, and then they're pushing their agenda, and we're just walking around in this fear, and don't nobody want to speak up and be that voice that could possibly, control or crush the ways of the enemy. But everybody just acting out of fear right now, y'all. So that's what's in my spirit while I'm while I'm talking with y'all. I'm looking at myself while I talk, and my hair looks so funny to me. Yeah, I'm finna die. I'm finna die red. So I ain't had a chance just to even set up and do nothing yet. But that's what coming to me about people just acting out of fear. But the government is pushing this fear. Like the government is pushing this fear factor, y'all. Everything you see on TV, fear, fear, fear. Anything deal with fear, anything that make you scared, anything that invoke their demon is what the government is using as a weapon to control you and hold you hostage. It's just really holding you hostage from really just enjoying life and just doing what God wants you to do. Everybody just scared right now. So back then Jesus dealt with it, and the people were just in this fear of their government, and they were just in fear of going against the scribe and Pharisees and stuff like that. And even when they tried to falsely accuse him, because you gotta realize, if you see somebody and they're a victim, why you feel like it can't happen to you? Like if it happened to them, it's only a matter of time before it happened to you. And I'm gonna use for example, I'm gonna say, what can I use for example? My first mind talking about Donald Trump. For example, Donald Trump and how they did him and how they just pushed all this stuff with him. Falsely accusing him, got him going to court and stuff like that. Like if he at the head and you got these people that's abusing their position of power to try to just criminalize people. At a certain point, us common folks, that same laws are going to trickle down to us, and we're going to be like, all our rights are just going to be taken away. If you look and you watch and you see these people abuse their positions of power to incriminate people, it's only a matter of time before we all going to be impacted by these laws. Like, it's only a matter of time. And my first mind was just like, Donald Trump and all the stuff he went through with all them impeachments. They couldn't give him on one impeachment. They got another impeachment. They did another impeachment. It's like, woo! Like, just legally, just trying to fight for yourself all day, every day. Like, when will it stop? And the answer is, it's not going to stop. It's not going to stop. And they're going to target who they want to target with the laws. Because even when you look at Biden and you talk about Biden and how he had personal documents, everything dealing with Biden is swept under the rug. Like, ain't nobody coming forward, ain't nobody fighting, ain't no media coverage, nothing. But anything dealing with Trump, everybody just putting the news to try to blast. And really, I feel like, symbolically, Trump is a representation of us everyday people. Because I feel like what he going through, we all finna be dealing with going through, trying to find our way out of. Everybody gonna be a criminal, the way our government is. And these laws that they're trying to push and pass, everybody's gonna be a criminal. Everybody gonna be trying to fight to not be a criminal. Like, we all gonna be criminals. And that's how they create these new laws and stuff that's going through. So when I look at Trump, I feel like he's symbolic to us everyday people and our struggle and what we finna be fighting with in the future. And it's gonna be these laws and them abusing their power and them overstepping their boundaries, and it's not gonna end. Like, it just not gonna end. Like, these people gonna come and push. If they want to get rid of you, they gonna do whatever they can legally to get rid of you. Even if they gotta create new laws to get rid of you, that's what they gonna do. So I just see like they instilling this fear in the people, and the people just reacted to the fear. And God saying, don't react to the fear. God saying, don't react to the fear. He said something else too, dealing with the fear. With the fear factor, this just got everybody, everything, like, and I ain't trying to go back far like that in my mind. Like, our ancestors, like, out of fear, they was enslaved for so long. Like, nobody wanted to speak, nobody wanted to go up against what was going on. Like, nobody wanted to do this. So everybody just kind of compromised and just accepted whatever was going on. But then it got to the point where people just didn't care. They were just like, I don't care. And they began to fight against those injustices. And eventually, everything just kind of worked the way it happened. But fear kept them oppressed so long. Like, they were just scared. Even with Jesus. And and the people could have freed him. Because the king didn't want to touch it. The king like, I ain't touching this, because they already knew. See, one thing you got to realize in the Bible, they knew who the real God was. So the person that they wanted, like, they didn't want to kill Jesus. They wanted the king to kill Jesus. So they knew he was innocent. But they don't want their blood on their hands. It's just like throw the first stone, hide your hand. Type of thing that was going on. But it's like, they didn't like him. But when they didn't like him, they tried to force the king to act on their emotions of not liking him. And the king, and I think it was King Pilate, he like, I ain't touching him. He like, I'm not finna touch this innocent man to kill him for y'all. He like, y'all gonna have to do something. Y'all gotta figure it out, because I'm not finna, I don't want their blood on my hand. Like, even with the king being the way he was and not even being a Christian and none of that, he just knew he didn't want Jesus' blood on his hands. So he like, I ain't finna do this. So it was 3 different instances where the people could have redeemed Jesus. And it was 3 times where the King Pilate put it in the people's hand to choose. Like, he put it in the people's hand to choose, and they still just chose the choice that they chose. And it's like, why? It's a lot dealing with that. I told you, God, he already showed, he want me to speak on, he been wanting me to speak on it, but it's just a lot going on. But even when the people had the choice to choose and make the right choice, they still chose Barnabas, who was just really just like a problem in the streets. Like, even if they had the choice between the two, people still chose out of fear. Like, nobody wanted to be associated with Jesus during that time, not even his own disciples. So out of fear, everybody just kind of dissociated themselves. And the disciples went into hiding. And before Jesus died, he said, you're going to deny me 3 times. But you got to realize what they did. They publicly killed Jesus to instill fear in the people. So now his own disciples is running around scattered because don't nobody want to deal with it. But at a certain point, you're going to have to just fight for what's right. Like, how long is you going to just, like, be silent to all the stuff that you see going on? Because whether you want it to affect you or not, it's going to affect you. So you might well, and I ain't saying, y'all, these videos, and how people take stuff out of context. I'm just saying, like, in life, sometimes you're just going to have to stand your ground for what you know is right. Because whether you stand your ground or not, it's not going to stop the dynamics of the enemy trying to invade, so to speak. So you can make it hard for those. That's why, like, even like if somebody try to rob you or something, or try to do something, people just tell you fight back now, because it's a possibility that you even complying will still get you killed. So a lot of people be like, okay, just give them what they want. But the way some of these people are now, it's just like if they come to rob you or something or steal, your better try to fight and hope you survive. Your chance of survival might be higher if you fight back instead of just giving them an easy target. Y'all, I ain't even trying to talk about all this stuff. But I'm just saying it to say that, you know, at a certain point, you know, I just don't see, like, this fear that these people got and the government trying to push. The government try to put fear by. Everything you read on the news be negative. Everything you read be negative. Everything you read is a new COVID. And people acting on that fear. And they want you to act on that fear because it's more control for them, y'all. They're just controlling us through fear, through the media. And they're going to keep pushing that fear agenda because you're going to give up everything you got out of fear. You're going to give up all your rights as a person out of fear. All our rights that we got between us and our government, they just going to take all those rights away and they're going to use fear to do that. So, I'm going to talk to y'all later. Yeah. But that's what was calling me, though. That what was just speaking to me, dealing with all that. And I ain't trying to get controversial. I ain't even trying to get in there. Not right now. Like, I'm going to have to take some notes and write this stuff down. Because, see, I'm talking off the top of my head. And God got my memory. So, I can't even think back to none of the stuff. So, I'm going to have to get some notes and stuff in order to do that, the video right there, dealing with this fear thing. And break it down even more. But just off the top of my head, that's just what coming to me, y'all. And I ain't trying to be controversial. I'm just saying, at a certain point, and it's not even just like physical, like at a certain point, you just gonna have to stand your ground in life. Like, in order to live life, at a certain point, you just gonna have to say enough is enough. Enough is enough. At a certain point, you just that fear just gonna have to go out the window. Like, what? Fear of what? If you say fear of dying, y'all, I'm desensitized. But you talking about fear of dying, everybody gotta die. Like, that's something everybody gonna have to go through. So if you realize that, you know, this something everybody gotta go through anyway, like, what is you preserving and saving? Because you not, you know, if you're not gonna fight your ancestors with your bloodline, like your kids, it's gonna be the ones that suffer in the end, because they're gonna be the ones caught up in all these, like, laws and stuff that these folks pass. And it ain't gonna be our generation. But our kids, they're going to be impacted by all this stuff that people should have been divorced for right now. It's already in motion, y'all. So, yeah, I'm going to talk to y'all later. I'm like, God, I ain't trying to say nothing controversial now. I already know it's controversial. It's only Trump pump in the picture, but I don't, you know, it is what it is. As soon as you say anything about Trump, boop, they go to controversy. But on top of that, he representing us, whether y'all want to accept it or not. It's symbolic. And what he fighting, and the laws he fighting against, and the system he fighting against, we as normal everyday people finna be fighting, because these laws finna be passed, and it's finna be impacting us and our kids and our kids' kids. And you're going to see pretty much if they got power legally, how they're going to abuse their power. And you see that with everything going on, like even our police force, how they abuse their position of power. When you give people a position of power, it's so easy for it to be abused. And who's going to say, okay, enough is enough? Like, at the end of the day, when you get a person in a position of power, who's going to speak against it and say enough is enough? Because once you get in power, once you get these people that level of power, and I'm talking about just power anyway, I'm talking about giving our government power through fear. Then who gonna stand up to the government and say enough is enough? And I'm gonna talk to y'all later on it.